we will be speaking in English because we have international guests as well. So, welcome to this high-level ministerial dialogue on infrastructure. We will be exploring how advancing regional connectivity and investment partnerships is feasible nowadays. Before moving on to our introductory points, I would like to welcome on stage Dr. Christos Dimas, Minister of Infrastructure and Transport of the Hellenic Republic of Greece, of course, the Minister of Transport, Communications and Works of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Alexis Vafeades, and we will welcome soon, hopefully online, Mr. Grozdan Karadjov, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Communications of the Republic of Bulgaria. Thank you, Mr. Vafeades. So, obviously, infrastructures play a key role in the growth and the development of a country. And I was wondering which are the top 5 countries in the ranking in regards to their infrastructure score. So I did some research, and I found out that, first of all, in the first place is Switzerland with a great score of 88.4. Denmark is second, Sweden is third, Singapore is fourth, and Norway is among the 5 top countries with the greatest infrastructures for 2025. So given these data, our dialogue will convene ministers of infrastructure from Greece, Cyprus, and hopefully Bulgaria to address the central role of infrastructure in advancing regional connectivity, economic growth, of course, and long-term stability. So I would like to start by asking both of you for an introductory comment, as we're trying to understand, of course, how collaborative investment can transform regional landscapes and anchor enduring partnerships during a period of time during which energy transformation in Southeast Europe is, and of course in the Balkans, is taking place. So we would also like, Mr. Dimas, to examine the role of infrastructure in improving trade also between member states of the EU.
Should I start with the presentation I have?
Sure.
Is that okay? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege for me to be here today, together with my distinguished counterparts from Cyprus, Bulgaria, and the common goal of highlighting the decisive role of infrastructure as a lever for regional connectivity, economic growth, and stability. Today's meeting therefore stands as tangible proof of our shared determination to work together for a safer and more resilient future. Evolving geopolitical developments oblige us to coordinate and cooperate to address current and future challenges. Strengthening connectivity across our region is not only a matter of enhancing infrastructure, it is a matter of strategic resilience for the entire European Union. The current geopolitical landscape, marked by instability in our eastern neighborhood, has reaffirmed the urgent need for Europe to diversify its supply chains and secure alternative trade and transport routes. The 10T policy's objective to develop cross-border transport corridors connecting the EU with neighboring countries and beyond is in that sense essential to ensure Europe's resilience in the face of future disruptions. Taking into account military mobility needs when working on infrastructure is a fact within our EU family. So climate change also obliges us to increase climate resilience and to invest in climate-proof infrastructure in order to prevent disruption of transport infrastructure caused by extreme weather events, rising water levels, and natural disasters. Cooperation is key to overcome those challenges. A key focus of the Greek government is to actively participate and support all efforts to strengthen cross-border transport by aligning national policies with EU priorities, accelerating critical projects, and promoting interoperability. Further, it prioritizes sustainable, resilient, digitalized infrastructure and dual-use mobility while optimizing financing, governance, and stakeholder cooperation. By aligning with the 10T policy goals, our focus is the Baltic, Black Sea, Aegean corridor and the Western Balkan, Eastern Mediterranean corridor. Our cooperation with DG Move and the Commissioner for Sustainable Transport and Tourism is a sine qua non in this regard. This collaboration, which has already made significant strides, can serve as a cornerstone for the integration of Ukraine and Moldova into the broader European infrastructure network. In this context, it is imperative that we provide the necessary political momentum to ensure a deeper and more fruitful cooperation with both Ukraine and Moldova in line with our shared commitment to regional stability and prosperity. One of the most promising avenues for this enhanced collaboration is the improvement of transport connectivity, particularly between Alexandroupolis-Odessa axis. This route has the potential to unlock significant economic and geopolitical benefits for all countries involved, strengthening our mutual ties and reinforcing Europe's broader strategic position. Alexandroupolis is rapidly becoming a multifunctional strategic hub with growing military, energy, and transport importance. As the Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, we are investing in the continuous upgrade of the country's internal networks, developing modern road and rail axes, while strengthening the dynamics of the logistics sector. In particular, routes such as the road and rail connection of Thessaloniki, Athens and Piraeus, as well as the new Alexandroupolis-Ormenio railway line, which extends towards the wider Balkans, enhance Greece's role as a transit hub in the broader region. At the same time, the integration of the port of Alexandroupolis in the Trans-European transport network further reinforces Greece's connectivity and access to key markets through alternative trade routes. Currently, we are advancing major railway projects aimed at increasing capacity and interoperability along key axes of northern Greece and its cross-border connections. These projects will ensure the seamless movement of goods along critical corridors linking Greece with its neighboring countries. Major inland projects are also underway to maintain and upgrade connections from borders throughout the country. In parallel with these cross-border projects, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport is implementing a comprehensive program of national railway upgrades. Significant emphasis is also placed on road projects, which will decisively improve supply chains and transport safety. The benefits will be particularly significant for the logistics sector, whose contribution is catalytic for the Greek economy, accounting for more than 1/10 of the national GDP. Equally impressive is Greece's improvement in the World Bank's Logistic Performance Index, where our country ranked 19th in 2023, up from 42nd place in 2018. This progress is attributed to reforms and investments in areas such as simplification of customs procedures, modernization of infrastructure, investments in digitalization, improved reliability of the public sector. So, as a gateway, Greece is investing in a modern logistics system that generates a positive impact across the entire Balkan Peninsula. Ladies and gentlemen, regional connectivity is a matter of cooperation, trust, and shared goals. Together with my esteemed counterparts, we are making a collective effort to strengthen our economies, promote investment, and build solid and sustainable bridges of development for the generations to come. As we look towards the future, it is crucial that we continue to build on our shared vision for regional connectivity and resilience. This meeting presents an invaluable opportunity to further align our efforts, foster closer cooperation, and demonstrate our collective commitment to strengthening Europe's infrastructure and geopolitical stability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dimas, for presenting all these projects. I'm sure that there are many challenges because of so that the fact that these are very important and play a key role in Greece's part in the next era. And I would like to ask Mr. Vafeades for your thoughts, in an introduction on the topic, on the key role of infrastructures and on the key role on infrastructures for Cyprus specifically.
Thank you, thank you. May I, of course, express my gratitude for this invitation. It's a great opportunity to be here and have a chance to discuss these. I must say that following this Christos' presentation, I was thrilled, and I have to congratulate you on the great work you are doing. To be honest, I think only ministers of transport and works can really appreciate how great these works are, because these works are basically what's going to be driving the economy in the future. And of course, in Cyprus, I claim to be the Ministry of Future, not the Ministry of Transport and Works, but nobody listens to me. Nevertheless, anyway, I know that transport and all this infrastructure is of immense importance for all countries, not only to forge a relationship between the countries, but also to upgrade the standard of living for our people. Now, what we have seen, and I'll refer back again to the examples we've seen in Christos' presentation, what we have seen here will address several issues at several levels. For one, it will improve road safety. We will have less deaths in road accidents. It will reduce access to health services. This means that people will be able to stay in the area where they grew up. That's a huge improvement in the standard of living. This means that they will have quick access to work and also quick access to education, which is, if you think of it, people want three things: their health, to be able to live with their families and friends, to be able to work. So this is what infrastructure does to all the people in all our countries, irrespective of which country we're talking about. So I think that that's part of the great importance and the great value we bring to our countries as ministers, as the ministries of transport. Now, in between infrastructure that connects countries, I think rightly so, Christos showed as well the work done at the airports. But in our case, we're also looking at ports, because ports is one of the ways we connect to the rest of the world. Ports is what brings friends to us, that's what they say. Sometimes they bring enemies as well, but mostly it's friends. So I think that by improving our infrastructure, whether it's the road network or airports or ports, I think what we're doing is we're bringing people closer together, and this improves trade. It allows us to export our cultures, not only our goods, our cultures, our understandings, and this is one of the guarantees for peace. Now, this becomes especially important when we're talking about countries beyond the European Union, where culture is probably different than ours. So, infrastructure, connectivity, and all the work we do towards connectivity is an opportunity for us to show everybody at the periphery that we are peaceful countries, looking to improve trade, looking to improve the standard of living, and aiming to export our culture. And in doing all this, we do aim to improve their standard of living as well. We are trying to help people move out of perhaps not poverty, but other poor conditions of living, and this will in extent benefit our own people. So we believe that working towards extending infrastructure to the periphery of the European Union is of utmost importance. We strongly believe and we advocate that the Trans-European Network for Transport should be extended. It's already extended to some regions, but it should be extended to other regions. And when I say extended, I believe that we should be investing in projects that go beyond the European Union and go to the rest of the periphery, and this will bring prosperity not only to our people, but to the rest. And that, in turn, will reduce all the tensions we have going on these days. I think the German Chancellor was quoted lately as saying that we are neither at war, but neither at peace. This is a condition that we do expect will not be resolved quickly. So what we do in infrastructure is intimately connected to our ability to defend ourselves. Military mobility is of utmost importance to all armies and to all nations in their attempt to safeguard their own borders. So we are working in all these respects. Everything we do is towards safeguarding and improving our ability to defend our nations. So I don't want to drag on for too long.
Thank you
That's
for
our
these
basic
comments, Mr. Vafeades. And obviously, as the new geopolitical landscape is changing, obviously the infrastructure sector is changing as well, and we must adapt to that. So I'd like to ask Mr. Dimas, Minister, Greece is actually participating in a newly established and very important project of the European transport corridors, and is already working closely with Bulgaria and Romania to enhance interoperability and develop a common action plan. So given our country's pivotal role as a gateway to the Eastern Mediterranean, what are Greece's key priorities within this framework of cooperation?
First of all, what I do want to say is that looking beyond the national network is absolutely necessary. So up until recently, I would dare to say that especially in Greece, we were looking at infrastructure projects mostly within Greece, how to connect big cities between them, how to connect different parts of the country. Now what we are trying to do more constructively is to see how we can have even international projects, so interconnectivity, projects which are mutually beneficial for the countries involved, and not only, but also how to connect key infrastructures between them, so ports with roads or with the rail network, our airports as well, logistics centers, which I mentioned before. The project that you mentioned practically tries to connect the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, and the Aegean.
Sorry to interrupt you. I would like to bring into our discussion, because we have managed to be connected with him, and he has a very short period of time to be with us. Mr. Grozdan Karadjov, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Communications of the Republic of Bulgaria. Thank you so much for being with us. It's a pleasure to be hosting you. You can hear us.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Perfect. So I would like to start by asking you, as part of the Trans-European Transport Network, this very important policy, Greece and Bulgaria have focused on developing key European corridors that facilitate the seamless movement of goods, services, and people. So give us more details about this huge project that requires as well the new Western Balkans Eastern Mediterranean corridor that links, of course, Central European member states with the ports of the Adriatic and East Mediterranean seas.
Hello, honorable ministers, dear ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and a privilege for me to participate on behalf of Bulgaria and to address this high-level ministerial dialogue on regional connectivity and investment partnerships. First and before all, let me begin by warmly thanking my colleague and friend, Minister Christos Dimas, for the kind invitation, and by expressing my regret that I cannot be with you in person today in Athens. Unfortunately, I'm due in about 15 minutes in our parliament, which deprives me from my pleasure and my honor to be all with you our friends and colleagues in our common goals of making Europe more transparent and more fluid in transport. This gathering is more than just an exchange of views. It is a signal of our shared determination to turn the Southeast Europe into a true crossroads of Europe. And with Asia and the Black Sea, the Mediterranean, and even beyond. Our region has always been a strategic transport gateway. Yet we must acknowledge the challenges: persistent gaps in infrastructure, disparities in quality, and the need for both coordinated investment. The European Union's Trans-European Transport Network and the new European transport corridors are the backbone of our efforts. They embody European solidarity, and we must ensure that Southeast Europe fully benefits from these opportunities. The Baltic Black Sea Aegean Sea corridor is a transformative project. It will connect three seas, create sustainable multimodal transport flows, and strengthen our economic ties. Bulgaria is actively working hand in hand with Greece and Romania to align all the priorities, to speed up the cross-border infrastructure, and to remove the bottlenecks. And yes, there are bottlenecks. A flagship example of our cooperation is the Thessaloniki-Kavala-Alexandroupolis-Burgas-Varna-Russe railway, which, if rehabilitated and modernized, will provide a direct and sustainable link between our ports at the Black Sea and Greek ports on the Mediterranean. This is the true link of solidarity. We are also advancing major bridge projects across the Danube, including the long-awaited second bridge at the Georgiou and the strategic new crossing near Silistra, which would extend the vital corridors to Moldova and Ukraine. These are not just Bulgarian priorities. They are European priorities. They are critical for our security, our resilience, and our growth. Beyond the BBA corridor, the Western Balkans Eastern Mediterranean corridor offers another powerful opportunity. Bulgaria has already modernized large sections of rail and road along this route, and together with our partners, we are pushing forward cross-border solutions, especially with North Macedonia. Let me also highlight the importance of our seaports on the Black Sea as strategic gateways for the global trade, particularly within the Trans-Caspian or so-called Middle Corridor, that is linking China with Europe. The inland waterways remain vital. Bulgaria is firmly committed to keeping the Danube navigable, upgrading our river ports, and maximizing their role in European logistics. Colleagues, dear friends, the task before us is very clear. We must act with vision, coordination, and determination. If we succeed, Southeast Europe will not only close the gap with Western Europe, but it will emerge as one of the main drivers of a more competitive, more resilient, and connected European Union. In conclusion, I would like to wish you fruitful discussions and concrete outcomes from this important forum. I look forward to our next meeting in person and to building together the transport future that our citizens deserve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being with us, even digitally. It was a true honor and pleasure. I'm sure you have to be running for your next session at the Parliament, but I'm sure that what you have already told us is food for thought, and obviously we mentioned safety, as you did as well. Safety is a key point nowadays. Thank you so much, Prime Minister, Mr. Karadjov. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, sorry, I have interrupted you. I don't know if you remember which points you were about to make.
We were just talking about the
Exactly.
same issue, about the corridor linking the three seas, the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, and the Aegean Sea. It's exactly the meaning is to link the main ports of the three seas. So starting with Thessaloniki, Kavala, Alexandroupoli, Burgas, Varna, Ruse, and going to Constanza. But that is within the EU member states. But there are also discussions to further extend it, and that's why we have already started discussions with Moldova and Ukraine, so building up until Odessa. This would be a huge and very impactful infrastructure that would change a lot of issues on how the economy runs in Europe. So we are very optimistic that we would...
And you believe this is a momentum, I suppose, for Greece as well?
Yes, not only for Greece, for all countries involved in the project, but even for the European Union. Because take into account that we would be capable of bringing people, but also products to Central and Western Europe through a quicker path. But at the same time, we would also open our ports and our infrastructure capable of having increased extraversity to other international markets as well. So that's why, under the auspices of the European Commission, the three countries are working very closely together. We will be signing a memorandum of understanding until the end of the year, and it's a project that we are very optimistic. I want to raise something, though, that Alexis mentioned before, which I consider extremely important, and you talked about safety works, road safety, especially in Greece, because we have a lot of victims.
Unfortunately, every day, every week.
From car accidents, so this is a very, very sensitive issue for us as well. And I want to mention some of the initiatives that the government has taken in the last couple of years and months. First of all, in one of the most lethal roads, Patrapyrgos, the old Patrapyrgos road, we started implementing some road safety works which were innovative for the Greek standards at least, and we achieved in having, as far as the road safety works were in actions, 0 accidents from we practically reduced by 80% the lethal accidents, but cars coming from different directions crashing were zeroed. That was a very, very important initiative, which was very impactful, and I would dare to say that despite the fact when we started implementing these measures in December 2023, a lot of the mayors and a lot of the public were against these measures. Now they are the same people actually asking us to extend them, to further extend them. We are extending these measures in Crete, in Voak, where we also have now 2 specific places, Chania Kolibari and Iraklio Linoperamata, where we are already implementing road safety measures, and we will be further extending them to other parts of Greece as well. However, road safety has also to do with the fact that we are extending public transportation. The metro in Thessaloniki, we will have 5 extra stations by February 2026.
I must say that Greece is not very famous in Europe for its infrastructures, but I hope and I suppose that something is changing at the moment.
I think that we are making very good steps forward, and it is something that people can see traveling all around Greece. VOAK is perhaps the last highway that we need to create, to build in Greece. We have actually created a very good network of road highways, but it's not only highways that you need. As I said, public transportation, the metro in Thessaloniki, we will be having a further extension within the next months. The metro in Athens, especially with the fourth line. The fact that we have substituted our buses in Athens and Thessaloniki, more than half of the buses have been substituted by new modern buses that are fully accessible for people that have difficulties in their transportation, but also of modern technology, much greener solutions. The new legislation regarding driving behavior, so the cameras that will be installed in critical positions. So I do have to say that
Cyprus knows very well of cameras, I suppose. You have many technology solutions that you use in Cyprus for that kind of reasons. But I would like to use my 8 minutes that remain for you, Mr. Vafeades, and I would like to, you mentioned that before, of course we can talk about infrastructures such as roads, but Cyprus obviously is proud to be recognized as a maritime nation and one of the leading shipping centers in Europe and the Mediterranean, with a modern registry, dynamic ports, of course, and a strong logistics network. So why is it important to extend trans-European networks for transport beyond the EU? And tell us more about safety and security in transport infrastructure.
Oh, thanks for the question. I think that if we tackle the issue of security to begin with, I think we are all facing new challenges as far as security is concerned. Cybersecurity is a major, major threat. We have all witnessed what happened to several airports in Europe the last few weeks, and how a simple attack, I think, was devastating for the ability of people to move around. So I think cybersecurity is a huge issue, and I believe we cannot rely on a general approach to cybersecurity. I think infrastructure is so vulnerable to issues of cybersecurity. You know, everything is digital these days. Cars, ships, planes, everything is digital. So everything is vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks. So I think we need to be investing as a European Union into units that are specifically tasked with defending infrastructure works. And that is, I think, one way of trying to be one step ahead of the threat, rather than following up and trying to figure out what's going on there. Now, the other major threat we have, and that has, again, has a universal issue to it, I think, is the threat that comes from drones. We see that drones are like ghost threats. You don't know where they're coming from, when they're coming from. It's hard to defend from them. So it's one issue that is threatening to disrupt all trust in public transport. And that's going to be devastating for all of our economy. So we need to be investing a lot in defense measures and mechanisms from drones. Our ships are vulnerable, our planes are vulnerable, airports are vulnerable. Okay, airports might be a bit easier to defend. Everything else that moves, though, is not. So what we are looking as a government, and we are looking to cooperate with other governments in the European Union and the region where Cyprus is located, is to find ways of safeguarding connectivity by being able to defend ourselves against these threats.
What projects are you proud of as, from your role as a minister in Cyprus, and how would you grade Cyprus's infrastructures?
Okay, you were very kind before, and you described Cyprus in a much better way than
I have
will.
many friends in Cyprus, and I've lived in Cyprus, so I know.
I believe we have we have a long way to go before we can claim to be up to par with whatever else is happening in Europe. We need to automate, we need to improve on our processes, we need to add a lot more infrastructure projects that should be supportive of the works that go on in ports and airports, and that's what we're working on. And I would say that I'm proud of all the projects going on now that will add a further dimension to the works that go on in ports and airports. Especially in airports, what we are planning for the next 7 years, and well, that's way beyond my tenure, but regardless, we're all planning for the future, is to transform airports into products that are beyond the process of passengers. I mean, once you have, I know there are airports in India which process 40 million passengers per year. That's not an airport. That's 40 million passengers which are waiting for a better product, which are waiting to be treated better and can be developed into a generative force for the economy. So I think we're looking at our airports like that. Our next generation of airports will be addressing the issue not only of passenger traffic, but of commercial activity and all other aspects to that. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Mr. Dimas mentioned cameras on roads.
Yeah.
Tell us more about how Cyprus is using cameras.
I was in Toronto last week.
And how the citizens are cooperating with the cameras.
I was in Toronto last week, and I noticed in the newspaper that local citizens cut down 2 fixed camera units. Now, that's the same thing that's happening in Cyprus. All governments aim to improve safety on the roads by making sure that road behavior is being monitored so that people know that they will have to obey the rules. The rules are what saves lives. And we have installed quite a number of cameras, fixed and mobile cameras in Cyprus. We have seen good results because of that. We are facing a huge, people are not happy. They do not like it, but we feel it's the right thing, so we're pushing forward with that. Actually, we had Minister Georgiou visit, and we had a chance and the pleasure to show him around and see what we were doing. And now I think it's his turn to show us what he's doing, and it's our turn to follow in your footsteps in the next. So we will be moving forward with more cameras because we think that that's what will guarantee a feeling of safety in the streets.
One last word in the last minute we have, Mr. Dimas, from yourself.
What I do want to say is that infrastructure projects are key for the social and economic life of everybody. Where I do want to stress the fact is that it's not only actually giving to the public the infrastructure project, but where we must place more emphasis, especially in Greece, I can speak about Greece, is on maintenance. So maintaining our infrastructure projects at a good, safe level is extremely important. It is a priority of the government, and it is something that you will hear more and more in the next years from any Greek government. It's absolutely necessary. We have some infrastructure that were created decades ago. Obviously, in order to continue to have them functional in a functional shape, it's absolutely necessary to maintain them. At the same time, new infrastructure projects must be resilient, especially with the climate change. We have observed it in a very difficult way in Greece that extreme weather conditions are here. They will be here in the next years. So making sustainable and resilient infrastructure project is absolutely necessary.
Thank you very much. rain is also part of this discussion.
I can hear it, yeah.
Λοιπόν, σας ευχαριστώ θερμά, να κυρίσω στα ελληνικά. Ευχαριστώ και τους δύο. Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ που μας παρακολουθήσατε και να καλέσω την κυρία Χριστίνα Παπαγιάννη στο βήμα για το επόμενο πάνελ.